All right, welcome everybody to the Hyvä Meetup number 8.
Ich höre nichts.
I have a slight latency
Ich
here.
Ich höre dich nicht, das hat geblendet von gesagt.
Okay, but they can hear us. Furman, please.
Okay.
That's just a latency.
Ach, Mainstage, du musst auf die Station.
All right, well then. Yeah, so very welcome to Hyvä Meetup number 8, hosted by Internet. Hi there, I'm Christian Philipp, CEO from Internet, and yeah, I will be here with Andrea. Andrea is doing everything behind the scenes, and she will help us, doing everything behind the scenes before, during, and after the event. So thank you, Andrea. She makes sure everything goes well. And I'm just here. Will be your host. Trying not to talk too much stupid things. So today's speakers. Very glad we have Sean van Zuidam here, front-end developer from Hyvä. And it will be me. I will do the second one. Sean will have the first session, and the second one by me. And the schedule looks like this. So we have a networking time after the introduction now. We will have some time to network from 6:10 to 6:20. After that, the first session will occur at 6:20, how to use UI components in Hyvä, from Sean. After the talk, we have time for discussions. And at 7:05 approximately, the second session will start. Create fast jobs faster with Feconell, helped by me. And after that, we also have some time to discuss. Sponsor of the Hyvä Meetup is Internet. So we, as a main partner and co-creator of Hyvä, we're proud to be the sponsor of the event. And thank you for attending the meeting, the meetup here. That really means a lot for us. Hyvä's just great, All right, you should be, or it should like more or less like the screenshot you see right now. So you are at the main stage now. The presentations, the Q&A, and the official closing will be here. The main stage is moderated. That means that the speakers are able to be on the main stage and to share the video and audio. And you can still you can interact with us via the Q&A. Yes, there will be a Q&A after each presentation, and you can raise questions anytime in the QA tab. So on the very right part, you have the possibility to click on chat, polls, people, and Q&A. So, and if you put in question Q&A, you can, we will see that. Andreas will help out and collect all the questions. And actually a meeting or a meetup is a meeting place, so you will enjoy your time even more when you engage. So make use of this platform. If you want to express your thoughts, you can do that on the chat. If you have questions, just use the Q&A tab. Will the talks be recorded? Yes, they will. So they will be published on the channel from Hyvä, unless anything goes really, really wrong. And we will notify you via Twitter and Slack when it's up. And of course, you know this slide when you attend this meeting more often than once. But it's important. So be welcoming, be a decent human being. We really ask you to act kind and respect each other and respect others' hard work. So in short, be Hyvä. Cool. So this is a meetup, right? Yes, it is. So after this first introduction, I ask you to go to the networking part, where you can click Join Now under Speed Networking, and then you will have the possibility to talk to other people 3 minutes and get to know them better. If the first try does not work very well, no worries, you have 2 others. And we send you a chat message as soon as we want you back to have in this session, because 10 after the talk from Sean will start. All right, so that's the message. So head over to networking and see you soon. All right. Hello again. So welcome back. I hope you had some nice meetings with new people. Yes, so it would be, so next point would be talk from Sean. So I hope he can come up to stage. There he is.
Hello, Christian.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
Good.
Very nice you're here. I'm really looking forward to your topic, because I already had questions from my clients, and they asked them, how does it work and how does it work? And I was like, better ask someone from Hyvä. So, so you have your presentation.
Yeah, I could start sharing my screen.
Yep, that would be great.
There it is.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll leave you on the stage. Take it away.
Thank you.
See you.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. So let's first do an introduction. What is Hyvä UI? Hyvä UI is a component library that includes a whole set of UI components that you can actually use to quickly start a new Hyvä website without actually having to develop these components yourself. They're a good starting point, or just a good component to start with at the basis. So how can you use this? That's what all this topic is about. So to first understand how you can use this, you actually have to own a license, but after that it's free. You have it. If you have access just to the license, you can use the composer key that's provided. And if you have access to the GitLab, you can also access it there directly from the GitLab. So how do you use this, and what can you expect from this? Well, if you go to a Magento store like this one, which I have already enhanced with the UI components, as you can see, this gives you an entire new look and feel for Hyvä default theme that normally ships with its default components. And now with only a few copy pasting, we have an entire new store running. And the only thing now we actually have to do is add our own custom colors, change a few things, and voila, we have a new store. So you probably have a question, how do you do this? Well, let's go to some code. Let's say you have the Hyvä UI already installed in your system. Then you have the folder components. Let me zoom a little bit more, seeing the screen. And let's say we want to use a block for our CMS. So we can go to generic content, go to a text, go to source, go to CMS content, and we can copy this. Now, if you have any questions on how to do this, it's all in the README, explaining step by step what you need to do. So if you don't have the CMS Tailwind JIT module installed yet, it explains that to you, and the step we just wanted to go to, the CMS content, and then the steps needed to actually do this. So let's say I copied the required content I just copied, and I go to my home page, and we actually add this. So you can see it already in the page builder. Everything is styled, everything is here. If you're using the Hyvä CMS JIT module, it will actually make that CSS also available on the front end. So we can save it. And if we go to the front end and we refresh the page, I forgot the step to flush the cache. So let's do that. Oh, there it is. And with that, we added a Hyvä UI component, everything in there. Now, of course, from this step, it's your code. You can customize it to your liking. So let's say we have this code and we want to change the text here. We just simply change that text to Hyvä Meetup is here. I need to actually edit that content. Apologies. Is here. And with that, we change the content and so on, and you can actually change every bit you want to. Change the image around. Let's say we take that, copy image, address, and use that enormous SVG. And voila. We save it. We make sure we actually flush the cache. And it's different. So this is Hyvä UI components just for CMS, of course, but you can go and take it a step further and actually use Hyvä UI components for existing blocks that are already part of your team. So let's say take the header. The one you're now looking at is the header C. And we're using the default menu. So if we want to include that and enhance also the menu, then you go to the menu component, take one of the menu components that is available to you, and copy and paste that version from it. And it's just simply copying and pasting it to your team, making sure you follow the steps from the README, and there it is. Now, at Hyvä, we're not standing still with UI components, so we're actually adding more and more UI components, and we're really close to actually releasing a new version of Hyvä UI. And I'm going to show you a few of these new blocks that are all available very soon. So the first one you probably notice on the page is the accordion. You can actually click it around. This works in the CMS content and also works in your PHTML blocks, so wherever you want it. And we also have one very requested feature from the Slack channel, galleries. So one of the requested features was a vertical one. We're hoping to release this week, and then you will actually have 4 versions of a gallery that offer you very much a lot of customization options to change around with. So I'm just clicking around, showing you what's possible. But let's say you don't like a gallery with thumbnails. Let's say you want it a little bit different. Again, let's say we follow the steps from the Hyvä UI gallery B, which we're currently looking at. We copied all the content. We made sure to import the CSS and adjusted it to our own needs. Well, from that option on, most of our newer UI components are also coming with a lot of configuration. And for the gallery, it's actually in a location you're used to, the etc view.xml. So if we scroll down all the way down, and let's say we wanted to keep the thumbnails on the horizontal view, just simply swap it out, refresh it, and voila, it's back in horizontal. So with that, you have a lot of customization options now coming to UI components, and there are already UI components offering this. But from that point, you can, without altering, use UI components, or if you wish to customize it, customize it. So let's say we have this gallery B that we already adjusted, and we want to change it around a little bit. Let's say we want those thumbnails more rounded. Well, from that point, it's just the same as you always do. Go to your template, look up the thumbnail, and I am zoomed in, so it's a little bit hard for me to find the right button. There it is. And let's say we wanted to use the rounded LG version. You actually have to write rounded. So make sure the cache is refreshed and make sure we actually use a little bit of overflow masking. And voila. And now your thumbnails are using rounded. So from that basis, UI components are a perfect starting point, and then you can easily customize it to your liking. And with that, we offer a whole range of UI components tested by us, built by us, that offer flexibility, but at the same time, customization options that you can change without actually altering it, or a good foundation to actually alter it yourself, depending on what you want and what you need from it. So one question I always hear when we have UI components is, well, let's say I have blue, but I don't want it to be blue. Let's say I want it to be green. And like you normally do in your Hyvä UI theme, Hyvä theme, you just simply change your tailwind configuration, make sure that you actually have built these styles, and flush that cache. And oh, I'm sorry, apologies. The gallery is not even using that one because that's the border one. Mucking around with the wrong configuration values. And voila, it's green. So UI components are easy as a starting point and a customization. I'm repeating myself, but let's show out some more features that we can do with this. So besides that, we also have some other cool components to show off. Let's say we want to use a grid solution. Well, how do I do this? I copy the gallery to my gallery version of my template, swap it around, refresh, and voila. Now I have a different version of gallery that's stacked below, and you can simply scroll through, and you could go really fancy and create a sticky that makes this follow you. And it's fully functional. It works as expected with keyboards. So it's all there. And this is just a gallery. So let's continue. So here's another UI component upcoming this week. This is Tops Accordion. So normally, if we would disable the styles that you normally expect it to be, let's just simply disable this for a second and make sure that we actually have flushed all those caches. Then we're back at a normal use case. And let's say we wanted to have these features added from a different perspective. Let's say we wanted to actually add those tops accordions, but keep the, well, not add tops accordions, but keep the similar style that we wanted from that perspective. Now, then we can actually follow the steps. So let's follow the steps this time. So we copy and merge the following files from the folders and themes. In this case, that's the HTML and the layout. For lazy purposes, I'm just going to copy the entire Magento catalog. Let's make sure that I don't have an existing one. And voila. Then we can adjust it. So let's say I want to use that specs version A, but I don't want to use the style differently. But yeah, that's an option we could go for. But let's first view how it would look like normally, how we defined it, and then view it a little bit differently. So first, let's make sure we have flushed our cache, and voila, there is a new UI component. So no cards, flat. The style is now with background for the tables, and it's simply as you normally would expect it. But let's say we actually use that argument and use that configuration, and now we say we use list, and there it is. Now it's using a different list. So one more to show off for an upcoming UI component. We go to the categories and then go to tops. For the new UI components very soon, we will be introducing a new layered navigation, fully customizable with options like I showed you for the gallery and for the product specs UI component, with all sorts of features. But one of the more proud features we're adding is a price range slider. So normally in Magento, this would be like the let's click one. Like the material one, you have a list with options. You could click on it and that would filter the price. But now natively in Hyvä with UI components, you actually have a price range slider. You can customize, drag around, change a different value, go weird, all sort of options that you have to use. And if you like the layered navigation we have created, but you don't like the price range slider, you can actually disable it. Let's make that false because I know the default is true. And voila, we're back at default Magento. So that's pretty much UI components, how to add it, how to customize it, and what's coming up very soon. So that's it. Do we have time left? We do. I went really fast. Christian, maybe you have some questions because you were trying to go with UI components. Maybe I can show something.
Now I'm back. Hi, Sean. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the presentation. That was impressive, I think. Questions? Yeah, I just asked Andrea. I think we have no questions so far. So if you have, dear audience, if you have any questions, Sean's here. And yeah.
Customization, updating questions, I can answer them all.
Yeah, that would be actually my question. So what happens when you want to update the Hyvä theme? How does it work with the UI components?
So the UI components themselves are bits of code we offer, and then you can copy and paste it into your team. But from that point on, it's your code. If you want to use a newer version of the UI component because we made it compatible with a newer Hyvä version, then at that point it's just comparing the code depending on how you customize it. But it's your code. So from that point, we don't. It's not the normal update from Hyvä. What I'm trying to say. As for Hyvä updates themselves, the UI components are always updated with the latest Hyvä releases. So we recently released a new version of the Hyvä UI components, including the new Hyvä version. And with the upcoming release this week, we also are including newer components that are also compatible. Now, to make it a little bit easier, we had readmes with each doc that showed the version. As from, and I will make it a little bit smaller and then use the full screen. As from the new version, we will be popping these nice little badges on top. Referencing which Hyvä version it's compatible with, Tailwind version or Figma file. So it's clear what you need, what the component is compatible with, depending on what you're using. So.
Yeah. So that was actually the next question from Alex. I was asking, is there any documentation with a list of available components? So at least in the README file, you have an overview how to use them, but is there also like a list in there somewhere?
A list of all available components? Not exactly. We have a Figma file that's delivered that includes all the. I don't have the newer one here, but there's a newer one. There's a Figma file and a PDF, which I should open in my correct application. So let's say we take the Figma file. The Figma file is a best place to actually see what's in the available to you for the UI components. So it's scrolling just through it, and you will see all what's in there. As just a simple list, no. It's just the folder structure you see here. That's what's available, and that includes all sorts of components inside. So it's actually a toolkit that you can explore, and that includes all the necessary previews and readmes to accompany with helping you getting that UI component into your team.
Okay. So you can make sense of it, because next question was from Sunil Patel. How we know which components are available with which settings. So you can check the PDF and then you go to the component and there you have the readme tells you.
No, the settings themselves are only specified in the readmes, so not in the PDF themselves. PDF is only for previewing the component. So here we have the category slider one of the existing UI components. As you can see, there's a usage tab for how to use it in CMS. I don't have to click that. And a usage for the templates. But then when you scroll down, you see requirements. I don't have one with the configuration, so let's go to the gallery one. It's a little bit more complete.
Yeah.
So this is the gallery one, and you can quickly see it already. The configuration is popping into the screen here. And from that point, this is the configuration for the gallery. Now, this is, of course, using the view.xml from the etc folder. But let's say you have one like the category filter, then it's actually the XML files that are used with your layout. I lost the word over there. So these are the settings, but they're also described in the README here. We actually even made a nice little table to explain what settings are available to you. So here's the configuration. Then we explain where you can find that actual configuration file. And we list out all the options that are available to you. And for some features, we actually have to include a little bit more explanation than a table is possible to explain it to us. So,
Yeah.
So for this example, we have the open by IDs. We clearly state what type it is. So it's an array, a little bit technical, but you see here the argument is a type of array. And then you specify items that are strings, and I will tell it that the categories and the price need to stay open by default.
Yeah.
It's all in the README. So, and if there are things unclear, people can always, if they want to, contribute back to us through the Hyvä UI library on GitLab, and yeah,
Great.
issue or merge request.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So I think we have no questions left, do we, Andrea? So if not, no. So Sean, thank you very much. That was impressive. Really fun to see how fast you get results with Hyvä. Yeah, so thank you very much for your talk, and we'll see. We're thrilled to wait for the release this week.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Christian.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye. See you. All right. So I think we are a little ahead of our time, but that's no problem because the next speaker is already present. Let me share my screen. This one here. So, yeah, build and maintain fast Hyvä shops even faster with Feconell. So what I'm talking about, the agenda is, of course, I'll tell you what it is all about, and tell you the reasons why we did this. Then we tell you the how. So what technical actions did we do to build shops faster? Oops, sorry. Then, of course, I'll show you the result and an overview of what's coming up next. First of all, Hyvä was great. Yeah. So don't get me wrong. We create shops with Hyvä only. Yeah. So we are serving clients very, very long, some 10 plus years, and I cannot really see us doing shops without Hyvä in the future. That's just not possible. But to be honest, our experience says that the demand of the clients are often quite similar. And also, maintaining the Hyvä theme is not the easiest when it comes to updates and so on and so forth. So that's why we as an agency, of course, needed to do something about it. So that's why we created an internal project, which we call Feconell. And the overall aim is actually, well, we try to incorporate our experience from the past years in a best practice, and yet not as a developer-oriented approach as Hyvä originally had, in favor of more structure and overview. So the two buzzwords are here so that we shift a little from rapid prototyping to separation of concerns. Yeah. So Feconell will provide infrastructure for less need to alter whole template files across projects, especially on non-high-end designed ones. It more aims to reusability and more common approaches, especially by embracing separation of concerns, thus drastically reducing the versatility of template files. So ideally, this will help us upgrading Hyvä more smoothly. So main concepts. Styling is done in layout XML files only, so because they are much easier to maintain and update than a PHTML file with 3 different languages in them. So for us, it's a good thing. We don't need to copy a whole template file anymore just to delete the 100th occurrence of text gray 700, for example. Second, we try to assign as much CS as needed and as little as possible. So HTML style elements, style inheritance can often go a long way, which was often blocked in the past by too many assignments. We use definitions, especially for icons and buttons, instead of directly inserting them. We extract JavaScript code where possible, and we keep Tailwind config structured in a manner which is easy to extend and alter. So now let's get down to business. So over here on the left side, you see the repository. So Feconell consists of these modules, and Feconell itself actually consists of 3 main parts. That's the number 1 is the theme, which is based on Hyvä 1.3. So in theme, you have the templates, the XMLs and PHTMLs. Then second, you have the theme module. That's where the code is, which is being used by the templates. And third, you have the UI module. And in the UI module, you find the UI components are implemented there. So you can say Feconell implements the design pattern facade. Yeah. So, and additionally to those 3 themes, we have some best practice modules and small additions we need in every shop, like text and so on. I will all show to you later, as well as some template and script additions. But let's start with the theme and how we changed the approach a little. So you may remember the view models registry Hyvä introduced. We actually use the same idea to summon CSS icons or buttons. So being passed the XML definition identifier here, the service then will try to render the requested elements here. Yeah. So in this case, we have a button, and here I'm getting a little deeper into the example. When you compare it, on the left-hand side, you see the Hyvä core file. It contains logic, design, including icon, view model, fixation, and content. So 3 things. And on the right-hand side, so for add to cart button, sorry. And on the right-hand side, you see the Feconell approach, which contains logic only and very, very basic design. So we separate that. So if you have a look here, on the top right, you just saw the screenshot from the slide before. So here that's the PHTML file, and you see that our aim is that the PHTML file is ideally not containing any design or content. We put that into the XML file. So the button, which is called here, is defined in a specific XML file of the UI module and rendered via one central template for the button output. So you see everything is in here. Plus you see the icon identifier here. And that again, if you want to change that, so it was that one here on top. If you want to change that, that's no problem. You just have to to change its definition. So down here in the icon set, icons, icon sets, and appearance, everything is done in XML only. Yeah. What happens if you want to change that? Well, alterations within custom themes are possible, and you can do them as brief as possible. So you don't have to overwrite the whole definition. As it's XML, you just have to put in the value you need, the attribute you need, and give them the value you want. So as minimal code as possible. That's our aim. Another example would be for the breadcrumb, for example. With the breadcrumb, you have CSS and definition and static values. So on the top right side, you see the Hyvä approach. There is the separator, and here is the whole CSS classes. And instead of having this hard-coded in the HTML file, we just move it over to XML. So you can see here, here the CSS classes are called, and here the glyph separator. And then if you go deeper into the code, you see that these two things, so the CSS is defined in the CSS layout file here, and the separator glyph is assigned to the block in the regular XML file. So it's all nicely separated. Yeah, next example would be tailwind config. So the tailwind config is a very large file. Not sure if you have seen it already, but it's very large. So to have a better extensibility and overview, we split it up. So if you have a look at these things, they are already in different files, so we have a better overview instead of having one very large file which is mixing colors, dimensions, and etc. So in more detail, we abstract definitions from assignments. So here on the right-hand side, everything is being defined, and on the left-hand side, we're assigning that. Yeah. For us, it's easier to work with, actually. And if you want to use custom themes, you can do so, and it is much easier to understand because they're way smaller. Yeah, so that's that about our Feconell approach. I think you get the idea. We did that with some more things, of course, but you get the idea of how we want to work with Hyvä. Also, I told you that we are using or get to know similar demands from our clients, and that we want to do take those demands and put them into a package. And that is, for example, tax info. In every shop, at least in Germany, you have to have the tax info next to the price and the add to cart button, and also is it with shipping costs or without it. So that's that one down here. And even in B2B, you would write it down. It would be just excluding tax, actually. But the info is, in 99%, you need the info there. So that's already there. Another best practice is the shipping estimation in the cart. So that's also something we have integrated because we do this again and again and again, and so yeah, it makes sense to put it in there right from the start. Something which is not used so often, but often enough for us, are the social media buttons in the footer. You see here, so they are already included as well. So all the screens you see here, they are taken from our demo store. So we have Feconell integrated in our demo store already. So make sure to check out hyvä-demo.de. There you find, how a Feconell-based layout or design looks like. And we are already implementing it in 3 projects now in parallel. And we will again and again with every project we will enhance Feconell with new things we want to include. One of them is the store switch. That's not in the demo yet, but this is something we will have there. So having a nice store and currency switch, just next to each other, because this is also needed almost in every project. So I think you have now quite a good overview of how we use Hyvä often with Feconell. And so what's the result now? Well, with Feconell, we are able to set up Hyvä shops faster because we have those best practice things and don't have to put in the modules again and again. And if the design is close to the default one, it is easier for us to make small alterations like changing the color of buttons or whatever. Also, for when the project is done, we can update Hyvä faster and easier than before due to the same code base we use. So we have to update just Feconell once, and then we can roll it out to all our projects which use Feconell. And even, due to the Feconell style, we don't have to compare so many files and or so large files with the update and see, okay, what do we have to alter and what do we have to change due to the update which just came. So that means low maintenance costs for us, low maintenance costs for the client. So what's next? Well, Feconell is actually part of a bigger internal project we are having now, and the project's aim is to lower the TCO, so the total cost of ownership for clients drastically. So that means that the whole package will consist of fully script-driven setup. That means our latest staging and prod environments, our deployment pipeline with Jenkins and so on and so forth. This will be done by a click only. it will consist of Feconell, of course. So we have fast results. Shop is there fast and altered as the client wants it very fast. We want to, in the future, we want to include the Hyvä checkout as well. And together with the hoster and the payment service provider, we're already in discussions with them. We want to put this all together for a nice package, so that it's Hyvä attracts also smaller merchants actually. All right, so thank you very much. Make sure to check out hyvä-theme.de to just have a quick look. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I will stop share the screen and read the questions Andreas given me. Please, can you explain what is meant by inserting definitions directly? Sorry, Jade, I just read it afterwards because I was looking at my presentation, the technical action slide. Is that referring to SVG? Now I have to go back in my head to that slide. Wait a sec. Blah, blah, blah. So, insert definitions directly. Where do I have that? So what I mean is that if I got the question correctly, if you use Hyvä as it is now, you have a PHTML file where you have everything in. You have 3 languages like CSS is sometimes in there, defined directly, and I don't know if SVGs are also in. I guess you could do that, but yeah, that's the thing we are separating. Is that what you mean? What we do, or how Hyvä is? So if you can tell me that, I could probably explain a little more. And if you have even more questions, just let me know. Does not look like it. So what would be the next point? I think we're very, very early today. We're very fast. That's a little surprising, but okay. Now, what definitions refers to? Yeah, the definitions refer to the PHTML file actually. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we are through with our session. I mean, that's nice. So everyone can go to bed early, or can do the evening early. So what's next? There will be a next Hyvä Meetup, of course, in winter 2024. So let's say February, plus minus a month. We have no topics yet for that. So if there's anything you'd like to see at the Hyvä Meetup, get in touch. Let us know. And yeah, we are happy to get that organized. How do you get in touch with us? Well, you have several options. YouTube, Hyvä Slack, Twitter, LinkedIn, email, everything's working, everything is fine. This meetup here, as I said earlier, will be uploaded to YouTube once we've done the editing. So yeah, make sure to check out Hyvä Themes or just stay in touch. We will announce it via Twitter as well. All right. This should be it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was a pleasure. I really hope you had a good time here. I had actually. It was my first one as a moderator, so I hope it was fun, cool for you as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you next time. And if you are close to Aachen, make sure to join the Christmas market on December 11th. It will be fun as well because, you know, Christmas market in Aachen is always great. So if you have the possibility to join us, we would be very happy. Yeah, we will just open eyes and ears. You will see an announcement for that on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever as well. All right, guys, done. Thanks again. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening and see you soon.